All right, all right.
Did you? Oh, you already started that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Tell No Lies podcast. I'm your host, Devin Physique, alongside the lovely co-host, Dr. Ashley Contorno. And I'm going to let you do the honors of introducing our special guest today.
She's my special guest. She is one of my
She
trainers.
is now our special guest.
First, I want to start with telling the audience before your name, how old you are.
62.
62 fucking badass.
62
bitch.
going on
Show them those
21,
guns. Show them
baby.
those guns. Flex.
Oh, one broken one.
One broken.
This is Maire Brandon. She is the head, the lead, the baddest motherfucker in the room. She's a trainer at my gym. She has done a little bit of everything and anything that one can think of. And we're going to get into as much of her story as we can. To tell the whole thing, I think we would need 5 episodes. Like Devin, we told his in 2. We would need 5 for Mary because she's got a lot going on.
Mary's got a lot of life on her.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
And I don't know if you know, but I run the South Bay gym account, so I'm the one that reposts you. So I see you quite often. You're like one of the frequent flyers on the story.
Yeah.
So I feel like I know you to a degree.
Awesome.
But now I'm physically getting to meet you and hear your story. So
Yeah.
just thought I would throw that in there
I
because I
forgot
figured.
to tell her.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to start. So, like, you've had a million chapters of your life, like, just to kind of gloss over. She's been a professional ballerina. She is a classically trained musician. She was a cyclist for fun and, like, for life, living off of her bicycle for a while. She has 5 children, of which she's homeschooled. She's been, leader in the church and a praise Jesus. Then she went down to being a dominatrix, getting downtown. You know what I'm saying? She's a pro bodybuilder. Like, there's nothing that this woman hasn't done and can't do. But which version of yourself, of any of those chapters, do you feel the most connected with? Past, current, present?
That's a great question. I feel probably the most complete right now, but I would say the chapter that I probably refer to the most is when I was a mother of 5. I don't live with regrets. I don't ever think, oh, I wish I was 30 again, or I don't ever do that. I love where I'm at in life. I live in the present. However, if someone asks me about my past, those are probably the most impactful years for me, the years where I probably learned a lot about myself in just getting to hang out with my 5 children for 20 years straight, day in and day out. It was great. I loved it. So I would say that was probably what I relate to the most.
What are their age spans? Like, when did you start having kids and when did you stop in, like, the age range?
Okay, got married at 16, started having children at age 20. And then basically every 2 years, give or take just a few months. So my baby now, Daniel, is 34, Samuel's 36, Sarah's 38, Gabriel's 40, and my oldest, Hannah, is 42.
Let's tap on
You're
her.
consistent on every 2 years then.
Yeah, that's her Scottish heritage that's coming out and how she says her numbers.
Yeah, and my name is Maddie.
Yes.
It's Maddie Brandon.
So depending on what you say, your accent might come out more.
The letter T, water, numbers for sure. I can fit it on anytime I want. I could talk this way the whole time, but a lot of people didn't understand what I'm saying, and I didn't like to repeat myself. I'm kind of impatient, so I just speak
Adapt.
the American tongue.
I would say you're pretty Americanized.
Very.
Yeah. Okay, so wait, we need to fast forward or rewind to married at 16. You said something before we started the podcast that I didn't know about you. It was a double wedding.
Yes. February 4th, 1980. I was a junior in high school, and my father and mother had been divorced for quite a few years, and my father was getting remarried, and so my then husband, Dennis, and my dad and my stepmom, we had a double wedding. We all got married together in the courthouse.
Isn't that crazy?
That is wild.
That's wild as shit. Got married with my dad.
With my dad.
My dad was my witness. To
My dad and my
16
stepmom were our witnesses. Yeah.
Was he? Now, did your mom have any part of the approval process, or just?
Yes. At 16, I had to have legal papers signed. So my mother at the time lived up in Racine, Wisconsin, with her then boyfriend, who became her husband. And we had to drive up to Racine, Wisconsin, and have her sign legal papers. and my father had to sign legal permission papers because I was a minor to get married. Dennis was 5 years older than me, so I was 16. He was 21.
How did you guys meet?
He was my brother John, who passed away last May. I come from a family of musicians, and my brother John was guitarist, keyboardist, singer in a band, and Dennis was the sound man. Dennis's older brother Tony was lead guitarist, and so they hung out and did band things together. And Dennis ended up at our house an awful lot because he was my brother John's kind of bestie, and
you know what happens then.
yeah, he just thought I was cute.
Was it pretty common for like youthful age gaps like that too? To be 21 and 16? Because now that would be frowned upon, I feel like.
No, it was, yeah. I wouldn't say it was frowned upon. And Dennis, actually, we met when I was 15, but, and he waited till I was 16 to ask my mom for permission to date me. So, but my mom knew him very well because he was over at the house a lot, and he was a very upstanding young man. He was fairly religious. So he asked permission to date me when I turned 16, and we started dating when I was 16, and I got married a month before I turned 17.
That's just crazy to me. And you were married for a long time.
23 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Had its ups and downs.
Yeah. I know a lot about a lot of them. So you've lived so many intense lifetimes in this life so far. Is there a common lesson that you can pluck from each of those lifetimes, like being married so young, being the homeschool teacher, being this religious person, being a dominatrix, living on your bike, being a bodybuilder, being a trainer, that are translatable to all the chapters of who you were?
Authenticity.
Mm.
So no matter what, and I won't say what role you're playing, but whatever you're embracing within yourself at any given moment in time, be purely authentic about it. I'm definitely 110% type of person. And so when I was a born-again Christian, when I got saved, yeah, I was, 110%, holy roller. When I homeschooled my kids, I did it to the nth degree. And that's how I am. I understand that not everybody is that way, but I encourage everyone that no matter what role you're potentially embracing within yourself at any given moment in time throughout the stages of your life, be as authentic within yourself as you can.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's kind of like what we said with you. Like, there's when you have an idea about something, you go wholeheartedly into it. Even if you look back after and it wasn't what you were hoping for, you put your all into it, and that's what's important.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's 20 minutes later, I changed my mind.
Yeah, because I mean, there's people that it's like they got one foot in the door and they're not being 100% themselves. So why do it at all? So, like you said, regardless of what the outcome is, it's being authentic with yourself in that moment.
I love that. Outside of fitness, what is something that you love that people would never guess about you?
Gardening, dirt, the smell of the earth.
I didn't know you liked gardening.
Oh, yes. Well, when I was a homeschooling mother of 5, I had my own garden and grew my own strawberries and my own potatoes and my own, yeah.
I would say that this bitch can fucking change any oil, tire, brakes,
I can
carburetor.
rebuild carburetors.
Exactly.
I've done that. I've
But she
put
likes to
cams
garden.
in cars.
It's the
I've
piece.
helped drop and pull engines.
She can work on automotive. That's what I would have went with. What has been the most painful transformation in your life? And what do you think it gave you in return?
I think the most painful transformation was realizing, we tell ourselves a story, or we believe a story that life should be like this. And I think like being married and wanting to be, as I do everything to the nth degree, the perfect wife, the perfect godly wife, the perfect mother, and force myself to stay in this role and realizing that that's just not humanly possible. Like if we are always in a process of transitioning into hopefully a better or more authentic version of ourselves as we move through our journey. And I think it was really painful for me to accept the fact that what I thought was going to be this perfect life by my own hand, I had to accept that it wasn't, and it was hard. It was pretty devastating. I hit rock bottom on a lot of things. Had to accept a lot of things about myself. It seemed like failure at the time, but it's so nice to be able to reflect and realize that, well, it wasn't failure at all. That was actually an upgrade. It was a growth period.
Do you think that that's who you truly, authentically were? Or do you think that, like, that's what society was making you believe you should have been?
I think it was who I authentically was. I think it was who I needed to be at that time. I think it's all part and parcel. It's like I still have my ichthus tattoo. It's the first tattoo I ever had. It represents the loaves and the fishes of Christ. And I was authentically that person. And that is all. And the reason I haven't had that removed, because I thought about it, it's like, no, that's part and parcel of who I am today and what makes me the individual with integrity and character that I have today, and dedication and commitment is all partly grounded in where I've come from. And yes, I think I was authentically that person. I'm sure that there was a part of it where I was trying to play a role, like, oh, I'm supposed to be like this. I think we all go through that. But I think it's all a necessary part of our growth.
See, to me, that's crazy because, like, at 16, you could say that you did that. Like, when I got married for the first time at 24, I was walking down the aisle like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm doing this for other people, not for me. Like, have you ever had any of those scenarios?
No, I don't think I've ever lived my life doing for others, but you're more of a people pleaser when it comes to that stuff.
Used to be.
Because I can relate to a lot of the things that she's saying as far as the authenticness and how to move. And, you know, like, I think a lot of the people harp on the negatives, but those are what define you on when you grow, right? It's always in the bad times. So, you know, I'm like, out of all my successes, I only talk about the bad ones because that's what's changed me.
Because there's no growth and comfort.
There isn't, 100%.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I'm the odd one out there.
Oh, I've been a people pleaser. Oh, yes.
Okay, wait.
Maybe it lasts longer for some people than others.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I just think I was shown and molded to be this person that society wants you to be.
Programmed.
Yep, and it's it's what they want you to do. And the more I've rejected the notion of they, the better my life has gotten. And that's what my book is about. So if that sounds interesting to you, it'll be done in like 9 to 12 months. And you can read it. But I look at you, Marian, like everything I've ever known about you from the moment in time I've known you, right? If I would have known you back then, I wouldn't have had this same ideology. I guess being a mother of 5 and homeschooling them all is slightly different than the norm, but you just like reject, like you don't give a fuck. Like you walk around in the most badass shit that like people like could never even think of wearing, right? Like bras and underwear and like sexy dresses, and just you are just truly you, and just I admire that about you so much. I always have, and it's like such a good example. Even if maybe like I think any woman that doesn't agree with the way that you dress is intimidated by the way that you dress more so than anything. But like it's such a good example to show other women of like, fuck you, I'm gonna do what I want. And that includes dressing the way that I want and looking the way I want and embracing my body the way that I want, you know?
I try to live my life in a way, like my Papa King in Scotland used to say, don't worry about it. In 100 years, it'll be all new people.
Yeah.
So we've got a short span of time. Live your fucking life.
Yeah. That's so true. I like that. I'm going to start using that. Okay, wait, this isn't on my thing, but I need to know how you started being a dominatrix. I don't know if I know this story.
Yeah, you know, there's not much of a story to that, actually. And I think before I even got divorced, like I'd make regular trips into Chicago just because I felt kind of normal in Chicago, great city. Shitty weather, but great city. And
you grew up in Indiana.
Illinois. Ill and annoyed. But so I'd make trips into Chicago just to kind of walk around the city, go sit at a Starbucks and feel kind of normal because, you know, it's the Bible Belt and Rockford was a bit uptight, a church on every corner. And as I was coming kind of to the end of that chapter of my life, I liked Chicago because I felt like I could be myself. And I would always end up on the north side, Halstead, Clark, Belmont, Boys Town kind of area where they had the really edgy stores, the Alley, and Medusa Circle, these different just kind of stores that sold latex and chains and just leather and different. And I was attracted to that. I couldn't even tell you why, but I would go in those stores and piece by piece, I'd be buying these things. And I bought like a riding crop, and and my husband never really like was kind of weird about it. But eventually, I couldn't even tell you whether we were separated or not. But I bought a bondage belt with all these cock rings on it. I got a set of real handcuffs that some cops dropped in our yard one night after a chase. Some Smith and Wessons still have them. Little accessories to hang on my cock rings, and I just started wearing it. And it attracted. It attracted submissives to me, and I was like, I don't know what I like. I didn't, but obviously I had that energy, and it was something there that was coming up. It was building up in me. So I don't even honestly remember how I ended up having my first client. It was probably more a friend, but I just started this. And then when I finally was with my boyfriend, John, who was a business attorney, he actually wrote me up a business contract for my dominatrix work.
I love that.
So I have a contract, I have questionnaires, and I had the questionnaire to just kind of filter out anyone that really had serious psychological issues. And I'd be like, yeah, no, you're not looking for me. And I had a few of them, but I found it to be a very interesting study in human psychology.
It is. But this goes to my point that you can't make a dom. They are born doms.
Were your clients, were they guys or were they mix?
Always guys.
Okay.
Well, and I'm sorry, I stand corrected. Actually, I had one female submissive, and I can't remember how long she was my submissive. We're good friends now today still. But never, and I have people that remember things that I don't remember. I have one friend from the gym. He's a trainer, and he mentioned to me, I saw him 6 months ago or so, and he goes, I remember that one, your birthday party where you walked in with that woman on a leash. And I walked in with a woman on a leash? And he goes, yeah, she had a collar on and you had her by a leash. And I said, oh, it was my female submissive, but I don't remember that. And then I mentioned it to her, and she goes, I don't remember that either. But she goes, yeah, it sounds like something we do. I said, definitely sounds like something we would do. So, but yes, my clients were men, and without sounding off color about it, majority, 95% of them were Jewish men, married men. And I know people be like, oh, why are you saying they're Jew? Well, because they were. It's
the truth.
And there's something about that culture that my ex-boyfriend, John, he was Jewish, and I asked him, he loved to be flogged. We'd go to clubs out here, and I asked him why, and he said that he, just like the Catholic religion, that he felt like he was being absolved, when I would flog him of bad things or wrong things that he had done.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Self-flagellation, that's
That's what the Jewish men said too?
I never asked them.
Oh.
I just, but I asked my boyfriend why that's big. It's big in religion.
Yeah, because they're repressed
the
from
guilt,
being who
yes,
they are.
100%.
Yeah.
But is that also built trauma too?
I think, yes, some of it was, definitely. When I would have them fill out questionnaires, it definitely would show up.
Wait, you think that's related to their parents?
That's a good question, and I guess that would kind of come down to your belief system. I believe it can be related to your parents, but I also believe in generational trauma, and I believe that just like DNA, like physical attributes or characteristics or aspects, I believe that there is emotional and cellular and traumatic aspects that are in your cells that pass through the generations. So I think a lot of that gets worked out.
So as a dominatrix, right, your mindset is like, it's almost like you're not smarter than them, but you can manipulate them in a certain way that they want to be manipulated. So how do you distinguish who is not sick and who is doing it for the kink?
Well, just give you an example. I had a young paramedic that approached me 25 years ago or so. This was back in Rockford, Illinois. And I had him fill out the questionnaire, and he was probably in his late 20s, early 30s. And his kink was infantilism. And
What's that?
Sounds fucked up.
he wanted to be able to be a baby, wear a diaper. He wanted me to feed him a bottle. He wanted to be able to shit in the diaper,
okay.
and he wanted me to clean him up. And I was like, yep,
That's insane.
And
A grown ass man.
that is not unusual. And I just said to him, well, I did not say to him. My thoughts were, but I told him, I said, I'm not the right person for you. But my thoughts were, what happened to you as a child?
Yeah.
How were you neglected by your own mother, or what was going on that you feel like you need this done for you? I saw that as not a kink, but as more trauma related
That needed healed.
So could you feel like a therapist in a way?
That's what I was just gonna say. I was like, I'm not that type of therapist. I'm a therapist to a degree, and even being a trainer, I'm a therapist because I get to listen to my clients in their hard and bad days. That's what we do. But and so a therapist to a degree that I'm trying to help someone meet a need or feel better about themselves or work something out, but not to that degree. To me, that's just a little too deep for me.
Okay, I know we're sticking on this topic a while. What if
It's a good topic.
I know, because I am a sub. And
Oh, you are a sub.
I'm a sub, and I love it. But like, I also have like DDLG fantasies, which is like daddy dom little girl.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not necessarily like I want to be a baby in a fucking diaper, but there's a bigger power dynamic than just a dom sub. It is like, it's not like a father, but it is a healing, nurturing part where I get to embrace that inner child like part of me and have that part be loved and coddled, and it is a lot of trauma healing and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that already sounds a lot healthier than cleaning some grown ass man's butt.
There's levels.
With dirt. With
There are
levels.
there are endless levels. I have a book called the Encyclopedia of Strange Sexual Practices, and it is all of the scientific terms for all these different kinks. And the book is 1.25 inches thick.
Because there's so many.
And it is all the scientific terms. And there are literally, for every category that you can think of, like, let's just take necrophilia. There's so many subcategories to necrophilia. It's kind of crazy. I mean, we could go into it, but I don't want to sicken anybody. So how about even, I forgot what the name of it is. You got those people that they get off on cutting off limbs. You only got so many limbs. I don't know where you go with that one.
Just the idea.
Yeah.
What trauma is that?
Exactly. And so to me, I look at some of these and I go, those are deep. Those are not just a spanking or get on your knees and jack off.
Like yours could stem from maybe something with your dad per se to a small degree.
I would say I know where mine stems from.
Where?
Outside of Steven, I haven't had male figures in my life, and my dad included, but sexual partners as well, that have been a safe, calming presence that I feel fully able to be open with.
Except me.
Sexual partners.
Okay, well, we got close.
I told Mary on the way. Okay.
But see, yours is such a small degree. Like the things that she's mentioning, again, for me, I do feel some type of way, like very similar to you. Like it feels good to know that somebody could even be comfortable enough to say something so crazy like that to me. Right. So I could take it that way, but also say like, this is I don't know what this is here that I have to take on, that I'm not willing to go this direction.
Right.
But it's a blessing to know someone feels comfortable. Like, what guy could feel comfortable telling another grown woman that kind of extensiveness?
Yes. Well, you know what? That's one of the things that I really appreciate about the BDSM lifestyle is that it is very open that way. And when someone hires a dominatrix, that you have complete trust. That is the thing, that you know that what's happening there is safe. You're completely safe, and nothing will be misused or abused and I kind of like being that person. I like being that person that someone feels like they can completely let down all their guards and they know that they're in a 100% safe space.
Yeah, because you're dumb. That's your job.
Yeah, but how long would that? How
Is
long
that
does
my
that?
kink?
How long? How long does that take someone to get there with you? Like, could that happen in seconds or
Well,
or is-
generally, if someone's approaching me or off the bat, they already are in a place where they're willing to, and most people that are approaching me already understand the BDSM dynamic, and so they know that when they approach a dom or when they come to a dom, they already know that that is what's being offered. So it's not. I'm not there to coax anybody. I'm not there. It's if someone approached me and I've done it even within the last year. I don't think I'm going to do a session with this person because honestly, I just can't be bothered anymore. But because it's psychologically to set up a scene, to get into a scene. I just don't think it's my thing anymore. But I sent this person a questionnaire, but they knew right off the bat what they were asking of me. And when I sent them the questionnaire, they filled it all out, honestly, sent it right back. So they already knew within themselves that they were ready that trust was going to be there. And they just laid it down right away.
When was the last time that you did pro dom work?
It would have to be at least 5 years ago. I fired my last client. He annoyed me so much.
Okay, I want to know from your available recollection, without having to dig too deep in the archives, what was like the craziest scene you've done willingly?
I have told this story to quite a few of my close friends. So I had this client and Jewish man, married. They're always in important job, very important job where they're overseeing a lot of people, or so. I think they like to give up that dynamic, that power dynamic.
That's the archetype of a sub. Usually a sub is a
Yes.
very successful, highly independent person. Yeah.
And he wanted for me to take him bra shopping, and he wanted me to publicly humiliate him. So we went to Nordstrom's, and he was a big guy,
So he had
overweight.
He had tits to put in that bra.
Now, is this open? Like when you're there, like he wants you to fully expose him in
Well-
front of everyone? Because wouldn't they be afraid? Like my other question was, do these married men, do their wives know about it?
Well, he did not live in this area, so he was from a different area. But when he was in town,
Okay.
so I took him to Nordstrom's over in I forgot where, over by UCLA somewhere, and we went up to the women's like sports fitness department, and this young girl comes over and she says, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Yeah, I need to have my bitch fitted for some bras." And she just, her face, she goes, "I'll be right back." She goes into the back room, and probably, I don't know, 3-5 minutes later, the manager comes out and she goes, "Hi, I guess you need some help?" And I said, "Yeah, my bitch wants a couple of sports bras." She goes, "Okay, well, we'll need to fit him over in the men's department." I said, "That's fine." So he picked out like a white sports bra and an orange one or something that could be seen under his white t-shirt, and went over to the men's department and he tried his bras on, and then we kept the orange one on under his white t-shirt so that we could walk through the store and people could see him. And then we went down to the mat counter and I made him buy me like some makeup brushes.
Isn't that crazy though that like that is considered sex work?
And they're getting off to this?
Yeah.
Like, what's the end goal? Because you're not like jerking it. So
No,
Yeah,
nothing,
no, like,
nothing
so what-
sexual at all.
So what's his end goal? What's the desire? Like, what is he achieving
The
from it?
degradation.
yes, and
But what does he get in his mind? Like,
That's
like,
rewarding.
I don't know. I mean, for him, I have no idea what
you just do the job.
he's done in his life that he feels like he needs
that
To
type
wear
of
an
job.
orange
this
sports
to be
bra.
absolved, to feel better. But I don't know. I really don't know.
And you obviously don't dig that deep.
I
to
don't
ask.
dig that. Well, first of all, I don't like humiliating people. It is not
Yeah.
what drives me. I like meeting needs in people. So when someone comes to me, and if depending on what it is that they're looking for, and that is partly why I didn't keep him as a client. He just wanted to be humiliated. He wanted me to insult him, and I'm like, that's not my thing.
Yeah.
I like to build people up, and Yeah, I did tie up his cock and balls one time and make him train with his cock and balls all tied up.
Now, how do you feel when this is going on? Is there a thrill that you're receiving from this by doing it? Like almost like the superiorness of knowing like you're just a little bitch.
Not superior, because I don't even think that way.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? I don't think of those people. I don't think of those men as less than me or weaker than me. They just have different desires and needs than I do. That's all, to feel fulfilled or whatever it is. And I'm meeting that need. I feel like there's a power play because obviously you can't have a dom without a sub.
Yeah.
So they both are vital, parts of that dynamic.
So yours is more about being able to like, not to, I guess, cure them, but like give them that need that they want versus actually doing the act itself.
Yeah. I don't, as a dominatrix, I didn't have sex with anyone. I never got naked with anyone. No one ever touched me. And that's the great thing about being the dom. You get to set all the rules.
Yeah, see, and I could do that. I couldn't do the humiliating. So I relate to you on that. Like, to me, I don't have to do that in real life. So why would I do that now? That's my thought process in doing it. You know, the people that are mean like that, I could totally see them being okay. I would feel so guilty insulting you over and over again.
And you know what's interesting about that, though, about the BDSM and the majority of doms that I know of or know about, if they're females, they have an issue with men. Like they have an anger issue. Like they hate men. They want to hurt men. And that's not me at all. Like I've had a lot of requests to stomp on balls with my stilettos. And I'm like, nope, I'm not interested in hurting men at all. So
yeah,
there's levels to it.
Yeah.
There's levels to everything.
Because that, like you said, that kind of behavior from a dom is, like you said, it's those are like the men haters.
To me, that's trauma in itself.
Yeah, the dom has the trauma.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to switch gears. What is something that you now forgive yourself, but previously couldn't?
That's a really good one. And that would be cheating on my husband. So cheating in my marriage. It took me a long time. I beat myself up a long time for that. And eventually he even said, Maire, you got to stop apologizing for this. And I think the reason I kept apologizing was because I always knew that it was a wrong thing, but I couldn't go back and fix it. But you can't go back and fix anything. So it took quite a while for me to let myself off the hook on that, understanding that the behavior was still wrong. And of course, everyone that loves me in my life, they're like, oh, but you were young, and oh, but you didn't understand. I'm like, I don't need excuses. There's no excuses. I knew the behavior was incorrect. I just didn't know how to fix what was going on inside of me. So actually forgiving myself for the infidelity in my marriage is something that I actually came to terms with, I'd say, over the last probably 8 years.
So recently, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That took a long time.
Yeah, I'm stubborn. I like to hang on. I'm an asshole.
What is something that you still want to accomplish that people would assume maybe you're done dreaming about?
How about living life to the fullest?
Because of your age, people think you're just ready to hang up your hat.
Well, but okay, this is partly why I can't get with men my age either. Because they're already, in their mind, they're on the downside. It's like, well, and I hear it all the time. I just heard it in the gym this past week. One guy talking to another guy, go, well, when you get to our age, and I said, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I just looked at them, and then they don't know what to say to me, and then they're like,
because you're the living proof of it. So when you say something like that, what do you fucking say to that?
Yeah.
Well, are you accepting? I mean, go ahead, accept whatever you want to accept.
But they're using it as an excuse.
Yes. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, but it's not age. That's the thing. When people say, well, when you get older and you get injuries, I'm like, I've been an athlete my whole fucking life. I've had injuries my whole life. Like you get an injury, you modify whatever you're doing at the time and work around the injury. And granted, I won't deny the fact that as you get older, your tissues take a little bit longer to heal. But there's many things that you can do in life to help facilitate that healing within your body. Take care of your body by eating good fucking living food instead of shit. So the thing is that when people say, well, Like, oh, I'm getting ready to retire, or oh, I'm this age, or oh, I can't believe you still do that at your age, or even Dave Fisher said to me, he goes, man, I got to give it to you, you're still doing this competition thing, he goes, I'm so over it, and I'm thinking, what, you're over living? Like, what? I mean, so the reason I'm even doing this, going for an IFBB pro card, which was never an interest of mine in all my career bodybuilding, because I've been a natural pro for over 20 years, was because I decided to tweak my body condition for the May competition, Cal State. And then when I won overall, and it was like, okay, well, I guess I have this opportunity to do a national competition. And people were like, "You're going to do it?" And I said, "Yeah, it's something to do on my way to death." I mean, to quote the Fight Club, which is a great quote, long enough timeline, everyone's chances of survival are 0.
That's my favorite movie.
So fucking do something while you're here. So I don't look at it like, oh, I'm this age now, so I'm still alive and I'm going to live vibrantly.
I love that.
So do I want to accomplish anything? I don't really have a thing. I just want to make sure I keep living until I'm not fucking living.
That's fair.
It's a good way to look at it.
That is a good way to look at it.
Because you ever look at a number, or you just keep living each day.
Right. Exactly. Because numbers are abstract.
Yeah.
I guess we just answered one of my questions that I was going to ask. So moving on to another one, because it was about aging in relation to fitness and ambition and identity. You just answered that poetically. If you could teach women a mindset that took you decades to learn, what would it be?
We're all goddesses. We are creators. Not slamming men. I love men. I love cock. But
she does.
But women are creators. We have the seeds of life. We grow whole human fucking beings inside of us. And for women, and it's just because of programming, patriarchal system, control, religion, all that crap, which has really, really formulated a mindset that most women have to be dominated around the world. I would like all women to realize I don't give a shit what color you are, what size you are, what age you are. Women are goddesses and we create life. We have a power within us. Like, this shit is sacred. So it's powerful. Just ask any man. It's like, I've said it. I have the pussy. I make the rules. It's kind of but it's true. Like, a man can't fuck anybody he wants. Pretty much a woman can't. You can walk in a room and go, who'd like to fuck? As a woman, if a man did that, he'd get kicked out of the place. A woman can do that, and you're gonna get men taking their wedding rings off, and so it's women.
Doesn't mean you want it, but it's there.
100%.
Yeah, it's there.
Yes.
That's why I always use the analogy with like social media nowadays. Like if a man and a woman were to split and they were to do the same thing, mirrored, and a woman was to sexualize herself and a man was, the woman would just be lined out the door, but not with what she necessarily wants, but she'd have options.
Yes.
A man doing that same thing, people are like, what the fuck's this dude doing?
Right. You're more mature.
He's got a little bit of stragglers maybe, and they're the ones he don't want either, So there's definitely that power.
Yeah, so my message would be that women need to realize how powerful they actually are.
I love that. What part of being a professional ballerina still lives in your body?
All parts of it.
You have some ballerina moves in your routine, I saw.
Yes. I mean, my body won't really do ballet anymore. My feet cramp and all kinds of shit. But there's a passion, and that all really probably stems from the music. But there's a passion in dance, in movement to music, where I'm just not here. I'm just gone. And every now and then I'll watch a ballet dancer, and I'll watch videos, and I just remember what it feels like to have that unrestricted movement. So it's still that you can take the dancer out of the studio, but you can't take the dance out of the dancer. And that is like something else you said to me earlier, and that is part of me. It embodies me, so it will never not be a part of me. So yes, I do have some ballet moves. I have some gymnastics moves. I always incorporate those things. I'm just, as you look at me and how I dress and the things that I do in life, it's just an amalgamation of my whole journey.
Yeah, in her routine that she's doing, she's got like, you've probably seen it on Instagram, like a reverse handstand,
Press handstand.
press handstand. We'll put a video clip, insert video clip here. It's so impressive. I can't do that at all. It's very impressive. Most people can't do that. What is a belief you hold now that your younger self would be shocked by?
That is a good question. Probably circle right back to how powerful I am. How powerful, and that's every individual. But I was a very mousy child. I was the baby. I was the fifth child out of 5, 3 brothers. I was extremely quiet. I would hang out in my room all by myself, with my pet mice and my ballet music, and I was just kind of a weirdo, and I was always very, I didn't stand up for myself. I didn't speak out. And so I think that my younger self would be shocked of my audacity and my belief in myself at this point.
Okay, so I need to know, I can pinpoint the time in my life where I kind of changed to stand up for myself. All the things you said you were now versus them, I know exactly when it happened, when I started to turn into the woman I am today. Because you are so drastically different from a church going, Bible thumping, homeschool teaching mother of 5 to I'm gonna take this man bra shopping and embarrass him in the Nordstrom. Where was that moment that the light switch turned? Because
Well, it's not a moment, and it's easier for you to recall that because you're still closer to it. But for me, even within my marriage, you try to put yourself in my shoes. When I got married at 16, I went right from parents right to a husband. So naturally, I thought you go from your parents who are telling you what you can and can't do, what you can and can't wear, when you need to be home, to this man that was older than me, and now he's going to tell me what I can and can't wear. And it didn't occur to me, because I was still a kid.
you were so young.
It didn't occur to me that no, I have my own voice, and it took me a long time to realize that. Dennis would throw certain clothes away of mine that he didn't like. He didn't let me hang out with certain people, and I was like, okay, so it's been a journey. Now, Dennis might argue, he might say, oh, I don't know, you were pretty stubborn, or you were argumentative. I don't remember that. I just remember being very submissive, as the scripture says, obey your husband as, Christ did the church or whatever, and blah, blah, blah. So I just was an obedient wife, and if Dennis didn't like something, I didn't do it. And so I think all of that kind of played into what happened in my marriage and me trying to figure out how I need to become myself. So I don't think I can't pinpoint a moment in time. It's really been, it's been a kind of a long haul.
Okay, that's fair. I can pinpoint the moment in time because my family tried to have an intervention on me. So it was very clear and easy to recall. But that makes sense. So you just slowly transformed.
I think so.
Yeah. Tell us about living on your bike.
On my bike. Well, I was a triathlete. Well, first I was a competitive runner for 20 years. I was a 5-minute miler. One of the top 10 fastest women in northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin.
What was your fastest mile? He was a track.
Yeah, I did long distance.
5:17.
Mine was 4:55.
That's great.
4:55?
Yeah. But that wasn't, mine wasn't just
But she's also a female too, so. When you're running that fast at that point.
That's still fast.
Yeah, well, so I went from road racing and then got into triathlons and biathlons and duathlons. And
just as a hobby, ladies and gentlemen.
I needed more to do than get up at 5 a.m. and go run fast before I homeschooled all my kids all day. I'm an Aries. But when Dennis and I were going through, I hate to say this, when we were separated, I had a car. It was a BMW. It was a Bavaria 528. It was an aftermarket car. It was imported from Germany. It was chartreuse. It was 1975. It was 74 was when they stopped making the Bavarias, and 75 was when they started making the 528s. All the instruments were in German. The manual was in German, and Dennis bought it from a friend for me, and then he painted it. And that was the only car I ever had that was in my name throughout our whole marriage. And during the separation and divorce, Dennis came in the middle of the night, and because he's a genius, and rewired the whole car so that it wouldn't run. And
Just to spite you.
yeah, well, he was a little bit.
Yeah.
He was hurt and vindictive, but he was a godly man. Anyway, he was a good man. But we all have our issues. So I didn't know what was wrong with the car, but it wouldn't run. And I had a couple friends that were mechanics that looked at it. And they couldn't figure it out because Dennis is a genius. And so I'm able-bodied, and I just started riding my bike in the Midwest. So for 2 years, I lived on my bike. And when the weather was really bad, I would have a friend that would come pick me up, or my brother let me borrow his car for a while in the middle of winter. I worked 3 to 4 different part-time jobs, and I went to all of them on my bike.
That's rough. Like, I know you are the antithesis of victim mentality. Like, you will take nothing that has happened to you, will happen to you, or has ever you've been through as this is my point in time to break down and be a victim. But like,
I did one day.
One day.
I got 2 flats in one day.
And then
And I got a flat on the way to work, and I changed it because I always kept, tube with me. And it's a Le Mans. I still have the bike. I love that fucking bike, my Le Mans road bike. And then on the way home, at the end of the day, after biking 30 miles to 3 different jobs, I got a flat on the way home again, about a mile and a half from my house. And I had just had it, and I had a backpack. I had eggs. I had to stop at the grocery store. I mean, everything was done on the bike. And I had eggs and different things in my backpack, and it weighed probably 25 pounds. And I picked the bike up and put it on my shoulder in the backpack, and I was just like, I was done. I was like, fuck you, God. That's why I don't believe in you anymore. And walked all the way home. And when I got home, and I was just trucking home, just like leaning forward, and when I got home, I just got in the house and threw the backpack down on the floor and just left the bike out on the back deck and walked into the living room and fell to my knees and just started bawling. And I said, I give. I fucking give. I give. Is that what you want? I give. So I've had breaking points where I guess some people would probably look at that and go, that was you being a victim? And yeah, maybe it lasted 10 minutes, and then I got up and said, you got to put those groceries away. But yeah, I mean, I've certainly had my moments in time, but no, I don't accept victim mentality. I come from a family of addicts. I have one brother that died as a drug addict because everything was someone else's fucking fault all the time. You moved here from Scotland to America, and I had to do drugs, and then I mean, it's just like I got arrested because the cops pulled me over. Well, you don't have a license, you shouldn't be driving. But it was the judge's fault because he gave me. So I come from a family of kind of victimhood, like where your circumstances have dictated why you're a fucking loser, and I refuse to be that person.
And I love that about you. I would say, though, to a point, like, you don't let yourself not feel the suffer, but maybe it's a good thing, right? You never let yourself dwell on the negative of where you're at, because at some point there's always momentum in another direction.
Because what is negative? Once again, negative and positive, good and bad, these are words and programs that have been put into us that if it feels like this, or if it's this, then it's a bad thing. And if you learn anything in life, as you move away from certain things, you realize, oh, it felt really bad at the time, but I can see where all the good that came out of it. Like I would not be here in California today and know anyone here or do what I'm doing or have a Lotus or any of that if some of the bad things hadn't happened to me in my life.
I'm still not at a point of acceptance with that.
I understand. I know
What
it.
part?
The bad leading to
Yes,
the good.
I know.
We talk about we about Steven.
Yes. Yeah.
Like the everything happens for a reason.
Oh yeah, you hate that.
I do not.
I think that's a glib statement. Really, everything happens for a reason. I don't know if everything happens for a
It's
reason.
a euphemism to make people feel better.
But it's. I guess I look at it like, how much are you dissecting that when it's being said?
I just don't believe in generalized statements that can overarch and cover something so terrible and it's just my personal perspective. And maybe I will just be jaded about this thing forever. I probably will. It's my fucking husband, the love of my life. You know? I know that there's positive and great things that are happening to me and my life that are only because of Steven's death, but I still don't have that amount of appreciation where I'm like, yeah, that happened for me. No.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I wouldn't look at it like that. But like even other scenarios, right? Like she said, like all those bad things are why she is who she is. But without him, she wouldn't be any of those things.
But without Steven dying, I wouldn't be where I'm at.
Correct.
So like there will eventually be a day where I can fully eternalize that, but I ain't ready yet.
Right, and that's understandable. It's like the house that we had. My kids all kind of lament about the house. Oh, I wish we still had Ogilvy Road. And at the time, we're going through. Not only did my husband, sabotage my car, but he sold the house out from under me. And I remember thinking, oh my God, that's all I've got. And then he moved to a town about a half hour away, and I was living on a bike, so I didn't have access to my children either. But when he sold the house, and I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I didn't have a place to go, and I didn't even have a vehicle to move any of my stuff out of the house. And I remember thinking, this is terrible. Like all I wanted was my house, like I could make that happen. And it's obviously time has passed. And I thought, oh my God, what a saving grace that was. Like one, I never would have been able to keep the house.
Yeah.
I could hardly pay an electric bill. But at the time it felt absolute, like my whole world was just ripped out from under me. And all I wanted was the house because I knew that at least the kids could eventually come back to their home if I had the house. But that was probably one of the best things that could have happened was not having that house.
Your kids are all over the country now.
Yes, I have Gabriel is Mexico City and San Francisco, but he's going to be in Wisconsin for Thanksgiving. Daniel is Montana and Hawaii, Japan, you name it. During the winter season, Daniel, he's a dive master, so he travels around the world and finds places to dive. But he is in Wisconsin right now. He's going to be there for Thanksgiving. My son Samuel, who's a private jet mechanic, he lives in Wisconsin, and that's where he works, and he has his own home, and so we're all meeting there for Thanksgiving. My oldest daughter, Hannah, has been in Australia and then Montana and in India for a while. And now she is in Wisconsin with her husband and new baby, my new grandson, Owen. And my daughter, Sarah, who has my 2 grandkids, she lives in Whitefish, Montana. She's been there for years. I think I covered everybody.
It's crazy that they all located to the same areas.
Well, like Sarah was the first one to branch off to Montana. She wanted to go a place where there was horses and stuff, and so it was between Wyoming and Montana. And back when I first moved to California, I had a friend here, JD, who came from Montana, and he talked to her, and so she decided on Montana, and that's where she went. But they're all they're mostly lodged now in the Midwest because that's where they grew up. So they're just across the border in Wisconsin from Illinois. And so where we lived in Rockford, Illinois, we were 15 minutes from the Wisconsin border. So they're still in the same area. My ex-husband, Dennis, he and his wife, they have property in northern Illinois and property in Florida. So they're close to their dad.
I was going to say, did they also have a relationship with him?
Yes.
I didn't know if I've ever asked you that. How has your definition of freedom changed across all of the different chapters of your life?
Freedom exists within yourself. And a lot of times we think that we are going to find it in a place or in another person, God forbid. Or, if we make enough money. And I think we come through life thinking that I'll feel free once this happens or once I have this, and freedom actually, it's a state of mind that exists within yourself.
That's real.
You can be free anywhere.
100%.
Yeah.
Love that.
Okay, I wanna retire my questions and just spend the rest of the time talking about fitness, since you're literally about to compete in 2 days in the Masters USAs. what are your goals for this competition? And like, first off, you all know I fucking hate talking about bodybuilding, but I can talk about this with her because she knows my position on bodybuilding fully, and there's nothing that's gonna offend her. So like, what are your goals? I know we kind of talked about them a little bit in the car, and what's next after this, and is that contingent upon what happens?
Yes. So my goals are, as we talked about in the car, to bring an even better package than I did at the Cal State in May. And the package I brought to the stage in May in Cal State was the best package I have brought in my 20 plus years of competitive bodybuilding to date. I believe this is a better package. I put on 4 pounds of lean muscle in 6 months. And so I'm a little bit bigger. I think we've tweaked my ability to lean out without losing. I was a little bit, I think, too lean on the last competition, 8.3% body fat. I'm a little bit higher on this one. So hopefully we've retained a little more muscle. So bring a better package to the stage and ultimately, walk away with a fucking IFBB Pro card.
And then what would be next?
Good question, and you are correct. That would be contingent upon really what happens. The competitive bodybuilding lifestyle is, I'm not going to say it's a harsh one, it's a demanding one. And I'm really ready to just relax for a little bit. I am. But it's important, to refeed, to do that reverse dieting so that you don't put on too much fat. All that stuff's really important. It's all part of the lifestyle. And I'm just ready to really relax a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I might get 2 weeks into relaxing and go, okay, I've had enough. I'm just looking forward to beyond this. I live in the present. I'm not a big planner. I really embrace the moment. And so beyond this competition on Friday, I'm going to be back in LA for 2 days, and I'm flying out to the Midwest to spend a week with 4 out of 5 of my children and my oldest brother, Steve, one of the other Brandons that's still alive. And I just want to enjoy that week. We can say Thanksgiving, but it's really just about being with my people and being able to relax and enjoy all the things for a week. And then when I get back to LA, early December, we'll see how I regroup.
With the pro card, too, with your family.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm excited you're going to get to do that.
That's the dessert right there.
Yeah.
I like that.
Hopefully you'll compete in the South Bay Strength Company Christmas Lifting Challenge that we're going to do. I haven't announced it yet, but you usually do all the stuff we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Competitions and
She'll
stuff.
be properly fed, too.
Yeah. It's going to be a squat, bench, deadlift, and I think pull-up competition.
Oh, okay. Was it like we did? Oh, no strict curl this year.
Yeah. I don't think, because it's going to be reps for time.
Oh.
Instead of the amount of reps in amount of time. It's how quickly can you do 10 reps on bench at this weight? Yeah. I don't want anybody to pop their biceps trying to curl it. You already got that once. Okay, so we're getting to the hour, and that was fast. What I know we've asked you for some life advice and for some things and that, but like, is there anything you want to share, whether it's bodybuilding wise, whether it's for females, whether it's as a mother, as a role model, as an anti-hero? What like would you just like to be known, maybe even about your legacy? Like, you're just such a fucking cool person,
Oh. Well, thank you. Some of my kids would beg to differ. No, they might say I'm cool. I don't know. Don't take life too seriously. And I think that, like, a lot of the reason, like when you're saying, oh, you just dress the way you want and, you don't give a fuck. And it's kind of funny because I still have a text message on my phone from Stephen Balderrama on Mother's Day that he sent me, telling me how cool I was and how I didn't give a fuck. And he really admired that about me. And I'm looking at him going, hello, male version of me.
Yeah.
But don't take life so seriously. I think, we get all these programs and religious things and just pounded into us like, oh, I got it. That shouldn't. And we get so uptight and oh my God, what is she wearing? And you see what they're buying and like, it's just like, just stop, man. Like none of us gets out alive, and it's like and I am a fucking intense individual, but I guess my legacy would be that. Or that I hope it would be, which is partly why I kind of got away from the dominatrix stuff. I don't want to be remembered as primarily as that. I want to be remembered as someone that helps others to see their own empowerment, their own lack of limits. Like I like to teach people on a daily basis that we have a tendency, we've been programmed to limit ourselves, and that we don't have limits. Because every time you do something and you realize, oh, I didn't think I'd achieve that, and then you achieve it, and then you're like, oh, well, I could still do more, I guess. So I would like people to realize their own empowerment, and I know that that's what I do for people because I've heard it so much over the years. Like I have students, I still hear it. I just heard it this week from people inboxing me, going, "You're such an inspiration," and like I wouldn't have done this over the last 6 months if it hadn't been for watching you. And I'm like, fuck yeah, that's what I'm here doing what my purpose is on this earth. And I've had many students over the years write about me for their first paper in college. And they're like, write about someone that has really impacted you. And I've had a lot of students write about my impact, and that is so humbling. I love that. I know I'm living my purpose when people say that to me. Like, you have been this person for me. I'm like, fuck yeah.
And I feel like the older generation is very much caring about people's opinions. Like for my mom, like she cares about people's opinions, and I just don't give a fuck, right? So I can definitely relate to a lot when it comes to living authentically yourself, like wearing whatever the fuck you want to wear. Like when I go to the gym, I wear this. Why? Because I don't give a fuck what you think. I'm wearing what I want to wear. I didn't even ask you for your opinion. But there's levels to getting to there to not care. But that's what inspires people, right? I mean, when you have a platform, what makes you stand out is that authenticity and being able to go, I don't really give a shit. I remember I was wearing those leggings, but without like any shorts, where my dick was just sitting there with the leggings. I didn't give a fuck. Why? Well, I didn't ask.
If you don't like, don't look.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty simple.
No one's telling you to wear them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think people are intimidated by that.
Well, I think part of the thing too is that your mom's generation, my generation, we've been taught that someone might be offended, and I look at that and go, well, if they're offended, that's their issue.
Yeah, not mine.
Not mine.
Correct.
Yeah. My takeaway from this podcast is there's levels to everything.
There is.
There's levels to everything.
Yeah,
Yes.
you could be doing one thing and you could be wiping someone's ass for the next minute.
That's right. Do you have any last questions?
No, I don't. Well, you're obviously an Aries because you mentioned that. So I think the Gemini and the Aries match, don't they? Isn't there a...
My best friend is a Gemini.
See that?
Gina's a Gemini. Yeah.
Thank you so much I picked her up from the airport. She's here for this competition. We go to her hotel. She unpacks a little bit and we're like, all right, she's 2 days out and she's sitting here under the lights on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate it.
No excuses.
No excuses. You're an inspiration and I love you forever. And thank you for being on. This is Tell No Lies Podcast. Devin Physique, Ashley Contorno, Mary Muscles on Instagram. And that's it.
We'll have to give an update on how she does on the next podcast that we do.
We will for sure. Well, it'll be two. Because
yeah,
we're filming
we're doing
tomorrow.
one
So
tomorrow.
in 2 podcasts, you will have your follow-up on how her pro card tastes at Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Peace, guys.
Bye-bye.